Hello everyone and welcome back to Air and Military Collectibles. Now you're going to have to get sorry about the wind, but there's nothing we can do. So we've a couple of items here that we brought out. Danny's going to talk about the swords and I'll talk about the helmet. So the helmet that we're looking at is a South Salopian, how do you pronounce that word? Salopian. So what we have here is a South Salopian Yeomanry 1884 1847 heavy cavalry pattern officer's helmet. So that's what that is. Introduced to the South Salopian Yeomanry in 1853 and worn with a black plume until 1872. On the Yeomanry amalgamation in 1872, the white and red plume of the North Salopian Yeomanry was carried over into the new found Shropshire Yeomanry. So that's it. Now it's a tiny little thing, so we didn't put it on a head or anything, but it is very ornate. Is that a Queen's crown on the top of it?
This is the Edward's crown, but it was the one worn by Queen Victoria.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's a very
you can see the three lions of Shropshire. The leopard's heads, I should say lions, they'll get shot if I go over the border. The three leopard's heads of Shropshire, South Salopian Yeomanry, the standard star pattern of the heavy cavalry, and then basically it's extremely ornate Queen Victoria's crown.
It's a lovely, lovely little thing. Now it is missing its chin strap, but
yeah, it is also missing a rose. If anyone's got a spare one of these roses, I'd be very interested to find to replace the one that's sadly missing from
this
here.
side, yeah. But yeah, it's a fantastic little thing.
These were brought in. Prince Albert actually loved, because before these, the cavalry wore like a busby, a short busby. But Prince Albert himself actually preferred the Prussian style dress helmets. So he brought this design.
Is the plume horsehair?
The plume is genuine horsehair.
So that's it. Just a nice little helmet. So Danny's going to cover the swords and explain to you what they are.
Cool. Well, one we've got here, this one here, this is an 1885 pan British cavalry sword. Now, hence, in a way, it's not a heavy cavalry sword. Look at that. It is a proper slashing blade. It's got heavy blood grooves in it, heavily reinforced. This has been service sharpened. So this is a type of cavalry sword they were carrying during the Boer War. It's got various inspector stamps on it, but very interesting about this sword, the reason why I purchased it is if you look on the guard here, if I bring this down to the camera, I don't know if you can see, everything's bring in focus. Come on, focus. There we go. You see we've got the Y of the Yeomanry and the SS, so it's a K has gone through afterwards, but it's underneath the K is SS, and that's not a naughty group. That is the South Salopian Yeomanry, which we've learnt from our helmet, but originally it was originally issued to the 4th Hussars, and there's various dates there, 1886, 1894, but it's a South Salopian Yeomanry cavalry. But you can see it is a proper slicing sword.
And what's the other sword that we have, Danny?
This one here is a 1908 cavalry sword. Now, that is a cut and slash sword, as John's per the 1885. This is a 1908 point. You see now we've got there, we've gone to a point of a sword. The whole idea of cavalry had changed by the point of the slashing swords. They were purely for giving point. Those of you who've seen Warhorse will see they give point, and basically you're using the weight of the horse and the rider on the thinness of the blade there. So it's not a slashing blade anymore, we're going purely for the point. Interestingly about this sword, it is actually a privately purchased one. And what I mean by privately purchased is it's another rank sword. Why is it privately purchased? The officers' one had all nice gilt and stuff on here, as they would do as officers. A privately purchased one, because if you look on the blade here, that's the wrong way around, but turn it round, hey ho. There we go. Try and focus, come on, you can do it. There we go. It says on there Worcester Yeomanry and blade number 372. The Worcester Yeomanry, a good territorial unit, just before the First World War had been converted into a horse-mounted infantry unit. So they'd had their 1908 swords taken off them. At the outbreak of the war, the Lord Lieutenant of Shropshire didn't like the fact that the cavalry unit that he was the honorary colonel of had their swords taken off them. So he went over to Wilkinson's and said, equip my yeomanry with the 1908s. So every member of the Worcestershire Yeomanry was given one of these swords, and the scabbards and the swords are all marked Worcester Yeomanry. But what's really interesting about it is the action that these swords were involved in. The Worcester Yeomanry went to the Middle East. They didn't go to France initially, and they're actually involved in the last cavalry charge of the British Army, and that was at the Battle of Hooge, where they actually charged and captured the Turkish guns at the point of the sword. So this sword, 99.9% of the chance, was used during that last great cavalry charge.
So that's it, some very interesting items there that we just talked about. So if you like what we provide here at Air Military Collectibles, please like, please subscribe, and please tune in for the next video. And as always, if you want to get in contact with the channel, there is an email at the top of the video description.